Hi, everyone. Today on the Wealth Cafe, we are going to talk about 5 different questions that you can ask a financial advisor when you're looking to hire them, start your relationship with them, whatever phrase you choose in this situation. And these are 5 questions I have put together over my years of experience working as a financial advisor myself. I have worked for one of the largest institutions in the US and also 3 years ago left to start my own independent practice. And in this are some questions that I've had clients ask me, some questions I feel like I should be asked by clients, or things that I think other advisors should be bringing up in conversations with their clients and should be transparent about. And as I present these questions to you, a lot of them don't have just a clear-cut answer. There are going to be things that you should be listening for to see what makes sense and what is right for you and what you are looking for in that relationship. So let's dive into it. The first one is, and these are in no particular order, just want to set that tone here. You can ask them as the conversation flows, as you are going through things. So now we can dive in. Number one, what is your fee structure? If an advisor is not willing to be transparent with you about how you are paying them, and everyone's getting paid, right? If they say, don't worry, you are not paying me, be a little suspicious of that. And don't get me wrong, there are ways in which advisors are being paid. Other intermediaries like insurance companies, mutual fund companies, whatever it might be, you should still know that, right? When I work with clients and I have different ways I'm getting paid, I transparently tell that to them. And you should understand that as well, because you want to understand where is their incentive? Where is that coming from? There's not necessarily always one way that is better than the other, but you want to understand how is the person getting paid. And if they try to tell you they're not getting paid, this is totally free. Yes, I'm sure there are stages at the beginning, as many financial advisors do, where they're working with you for free, getting to know you, building that rapport. That happens a lot of the time. I do that in my own practice. That's a little different, right? But at some point, you expect to pay, and any person expects to be paid for their work. You want to understand, what are you paying and how much are you paying and what is that compensation look like? Is it something where you're going to be paying them hourly? Are you paying them a financial planning fee? Are you paying them an assets under management fee? Now, none of these are right or wrong. They are all just different. And you need to understand what looks and feels right in your situation and where you are in life and what level of service that you need. Something for you to sit with and really entertain and talk about with an advisor you are looking to hire. The second question, and I try to engage this with clients and I try to bring this up to them and really focus on it because I want them to understand and be upfront about it, is level of communication. And so the question that you should be asking is, how often will we meet and what is our level of communication? And a lot of advisors will set things up where it depends on how much money that you have with them, right? Larger clients, you'll tend to meet more. Smaller clients, you may not meet as often. It also depends on how many services that you're using them for, what's going on in your life. A lot of times you should be able to reach them by email, be able to ask questions. It also varies in how you are paying them and what type of compensation that they are receiving. Just know that if you are paying somebody like an advisor hourly, be aware of what counts into those hours and make sure that say, hey, if our communication is happening over email, is that the same cost? If you are doing certain things for me via, research, is that feeding into those costs? How will that be communicated to me? How will I know that? How will that be broken down? Feel free to ask and understand those questions. The third one, what is your investment philosophy? This is another one that I try to be upfront with and talk with two clients about, because it's a big part of everyone's financial picture is those investment pieces. And when you are looking at someone's investments, you want to make sure it is aligning and that advisor's investment philosophy aligns with you. Not everyone's is going to, and that's okay. Certain advisors prefer to use different types of products or different companies, different styles of management. It's okay to say no and to decide to change your mind because you want to go in a specific direction. Some advisors say, hey, I will only work with you if we use X, Y, and Z product, if we work with X, Y, and Z company. It is then up to you to decide if that's the right fit for you. If it's not, that's okay. You get the choice. It's always client choice. Remember that at the end of this day, in any of these conversations, know that it is client choice. The other thing you should also ask when it comes in terms to investment philosophies is if you have anything in terms of ESG, or there's certain areas of the market where you don't want to be invested, are they able to take those things out of a portfolio? For example, I have a client who has certain countries that she doesn't want her money to be invested in. And so, we had the conversation of how can we do that? How specific can we be? And we said, well, we can't track every single little dollar, but, we're not going to then target. You can find country-specific funds. We would never find funds that specifically label that they have money going to those areas. Make sure you are also sharing those things with your advisor, so then that way they know. I'll have people that come to me and they'll say, well, this person never invested in this for me. And I'm like, well, did you make sure you communicated that to them? And they're like, no, they didn't ask. Make sure you're also communicating these things with them so they can add them to your portfolio as well. If they can't, that's also then something that you need to consider if it is the right fit, if you want to go forward in that relationship. Also, when talking about investments, you need to think about how custom tailored do you want things, right? Do you need to see individual stocks being listed out? Are you okay seeing mutual funds, ETFs? How do you want your portfolio to look? Ask those questions and you can take in their answers, and it's okay to change your mind. You may also find that things change over time as your portfolio changes, as your goals change, and as your lifestyle changes. And that is okay. A lot of people when they're younger want individual stocks. I want to, see everything and all of that. And as life gets busier and more chaotic, things tend to change. That's okay. And you can also make sure you are communicating those things to your advisor, or as you are hiring an advisor, what style you are moving towards, and also be open to asking that advisor what their style is, because they should have different ways of working that you may not have typically known about. They should be bringing that expertise to you. Now, the fifth and final question I like because it gives a sense of what type of client and what experience your advisor has. And that's literally the question is, what experience do you have working with clients like me? Clients ask me this question a couple times, and I always think it's a really great one because it gets my mind spinning on what of my other clients they are similar to. And then that way too, if I have an investment idea for one client, I can say, in my brain, I've now made the connection between the two of them. So I can sit here and say, let me take a look at this person's portfolio and also see if it would be a good fit for them. And I love to share those stories. And they're always, I keep them anonymous because I never want to reveal a client's identity, especially if they're not comfortable with it, and if I don't always have their permission in that moment. So I always keep it to the basic level of, I have a situation similar to yours. Here's where we started. Here are some things we're working on. Here are our goals. And to be able to share those stories, it's really great because then clients can see their future and their journey. And for you as the client to be able to ask those questions, you should see it too. And you may sit there and say, that doesn't sound like me. I don't know if this is going to be the right fit. Or you should be able to sit there and say, yeah, that's actually the journey I want to be on. Like, I want to be that client. I want to see my, financial journey go from these different points, and you're excited about it. Working with a financial advisor can be incredibly rewarding and should help you achieve your financial goals and dreams. It can be a hard decision trying to find the right person and the right fit, but it should be. Your relationship with that person is going to change and evolve as your life changes and evolves as well. So be open to that. Make sure there is a lot of communication going on throughout the relationship as those things change. And your advisor should also be asking you lots of questions, making sure that evolution is happening together. I hope this was helpful in your journey of hiring a financial advisor, or even just exploring it, changing advisors, whatever it might be. If you have any additional questions that you have asked during the hiring process, or you have that are top of mind in the hiring process, please feel free to share them in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you on another episode of The Wealth Cafe.